welcome to the Diablo Herald episode number 15. I am Huego, and the Diablo Herald is a podcast where we talk about the game Diablo 3 and everything involved, and news and all that other crazy stuff that happens throughout the week. Uh, we also talk about issues that relate to Australia and New Zealand, because that's where we live, in one of those countries. Today I have with me ZiggyD. How you going, Ziggy?
Going well, thanks, mate.
That's good.
As usual, always good.
And Highlander, how's it going, Highlander?
Good man.
That's good. So we've actually had some stuff happening. We've actually had some news this week, unlike last week. We've heard from the Blues, and things are actually seeming to happen. Haven't really had much actually happen yet, but yeah. So there's been some hotfixes.
The information embargo has been lifted.
Yeah. On the 3rd of August, they put out some hotfixes. They fixed some rubber banding issues. So I haven't really been having a huge problem with rubber banding. I don't know about you guys. Did you have really that much of an issue with rubber banding?
Mine was, it wasn't ideal, but we haven't died in our hardcore playthrough yet, so it wasn't that bad, obviously. But
Yep.
yeah, it's definitely noticeable.
Mhm. Yeah. How about you, Ziggy? Have you had any issues?
I think rubber banded once or twice, but I've had pretty bad latency issues prior to the patch and everything. But I don't really think that's changed it. I think the way they've implemented the rubber banding issue is more about movement prediction or something like that. So
Right.
it's I've heard a lot of good things that I like that. It has helped a lot of people. It's actually made a really big difference. So that's I think it's pretty positive, pretty good change.
Mhm.
That sort of movement prediction, I think, is good for that sort of thing. And I actually thought that was what it was originally planned on being in the game. They said that, you will never rubber band in Diablo 3. And I was a bit skeptical, but I was like, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they've come up with some technology. And they hadn't. But maybe this is what they were talking about. Just implemented it a bit later.
Yeah, right.
I suppose it's a bit of a class issue as well. If you've got a faster moving class, then you'd have more issues. Apparently it was a bigger issue for whirlwind players and stuff as well. But for me, playing the Demon Hunt, I don't even know what I play. Playing the Witch Doctor, I'm not running around quite so silly, so perhaps less of an issue for me.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah, I think one of the guys in the chat said that there's still rubber banding. I think, yeah, there is still rubber banding.
Yeah.
They said they fixed certain types of rubber banding, so I guess actual lag related ones are probably not going to happen, but maybe they fixed some sort of I don't know, some sort of client side rubber banding or something like that. I don't know. It said it was something to do with collision detection. They improved the collision detection.
Right.
So
I know for me the biggest thing is still always what? I was so far away from that. How did that hit? Is essentially all the frustration for me.
Yep. Yeah, well, apparently there's been a lot of issues with, people in the US having rubber banding, so I guess
they're losing their shit for a bit of lag over there.
Yeah, something other than, having a high level of latency. So I guess, there's different types of rubber banding going on. So yeah, they also fixed several game and server crashes. So I don't know exactly what that was, but hopefully your game will be crashing less. That's always a good thing.
it's always a nice thing. They didn't really say anything specific as to what they were related to. So
yeah.
I've never really had any crashes in Diablo 3, so maybe it's something very specific if you're doing something very specific or on certain systems. But
yeah, I haven't had any crashes myself. So who knows?
Seems like a pretty stable game overall.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There has been some changes to the auction house. Well, no, there hasn't been changes to the auction house. They are coming, hopefully in the next patch, but nothing's confirmed as usual. So one of the things that they're going to be changing is the searchable stat slot. So you'll be able to actually search for 6 different stats or magic affixes, etc., rather than 3, which is really good, especially, for certain classes like monks. I know that I want to be able to search for, my arcane resist and my all resist, and, it'd be nice to be able to search for armor as well, and crit chance, and all that kind of stuff all in one go. And it's really annoying having three slots, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, we should talk about this one a bit.
Sorry,
Go.
Can I jump in? Yeah. For the ultra detail-oriented people, it's 6 properties, which is different to affixes because sometimes they double up and overlap. Like, for example, on armor, you can have, I'm pretty sure it's armor, you can have like plus strength and plus vitality in one affix. And then you can get your straight up pure plus strength and your straight up pure plus vitality affix. So if you want maximum strength and maximum vitality, you're actually going to be using up 3 affixes there to achieve that. So it's the properties that we're actually looking able to search now.
Right. Cool.
But which is the way it's always been. It's just there's a distinction, even though it's very subtle.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Cool.
This is pretty well. The backstory to this is that Lyria said that this is something they were looking at doing. It sounds like one that they will be putting in, like, even though it hasn't been officially confirmed yet. But it has I think it has a pretty big potential for a big change on the auction house, like in terms of the economy, because making it easier to find the best, like most perfectly suited items for the class, instead of normally you'd search for the 3 most important stats, and maybe you wanted 4 or 5 stats that were right for your class, but you couldn't specifically search for them, so you'd just have a couple of lit pages and you'd just pick, unless you wanted to sit there all day, you'd probably just pick one that was pretty close to what you wanted. But this lets you get much closer to what you want and search for much more perfect optimal gear. So I think we'll see a big shift in the prices for the ones that were still selling before but won't sell now, which is like slightly suboptimal ones that have 1 less stat. Pat might have some ideas about that though.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep. I think you covered it all there.
You think that's what we'll see?
No.
Yeah, it's like
I'd expect to see like a drop in things that had good 3 stats but crap 4th through 6th stat, 4th, 5th, and 6th stats. So I think it'll put a bit of a wedge in the prices even further, and those super valuable items are now can list for even more money because they'll be absolutely identifiable and easily searched for and found, so people aren't going to have to sift through junk to get there. So on the upside, for the people that don't play so much and they're not super stupid rich, then it should devalue things that have 3 great properties, but not such fantastic properties after that.
Mm-hmm.
Which is definitely my category. So I'm happy to be in that situation.
Yeah. I think it's funny that on the auction house, a lot of the things that are causing, suboptimal items or not great items to continue selling and just issues with the interface in the auction house, like the inability to search over 999 and the inability to have extra props and things like that. And, like the poor way that it shows recommended items and stuff like that is the reason a lot of bad items are selling. It's kind of, I just find it kind of funny.
Well, I think that I actually can't believe that they thought that this was the best way to do things. Like, I mean, you'd be building an auction house system and go, well, how many properties do we want to search for? Well, how many can you have? Well, you can have 6. Oh, then we'll do 6. That just seems like really pretty straightforward to me. Now, if you're the only counter argument I can think of is 3 is all anyone should need except for the super powerful people. So those super powerful people, they make up like 0.1% of the population anyway, so they can work that much harder for it. And kudos to them when they find it. But it's going to make it more accessible. Bargains are going to be easy to find and stuff like that, because when the perfect 6 property thing goes up, somebody can't just value it very easily when they're trying to list their 6 property item, or when you're searching for one. That guy's trying to compete with junk, so he's not necessarily going to be listing it at the optimum price. So it's a bit fairer to the newer players, or the not so experienced players. They're going to have greater access to those top tier items. And I do think it's going to reduce accessibility to the very, very top tier items. So if you had fantastic but not perfect items, this really sucks for you. If you're anyone else, if you've got the perfect gear already, or you're not even really close, then this is a positive change.
Mm-hmm.
And just if you like using an interface that makes sense, this is a positive change.
Yeah, definitely.
What? It actually makes me wonder why they took... I don't know if you guys saw the initial UI pictures for the auction house though, but it had 6 prop search and things like that.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I wonder why they took that sort of stuff out. Like when that's like it shows that it was an actual decision that they made to do these sorts of things. There was a few other things as well that were in the initial screenshots for the auction house, like closed beta stuff that or a closed alpha or whatever, that they actually made the decision to take out and then put back in later. So.
No, I think it was deliberate. I do think that they actually did it to make the auction house, have some randomness to it.
Mm-hmm. So that other stuff would sell more. Yeah,
so that it'll be more accessible for people and stuff like that. People could have access to those top tier items. Bargains could be had.
It's interesting. Yes, cool. Alright, well the second thing is that they're upping the search value from 3 digits to 5 digits. So basically, instead of only being able to search for 999 life on hit, you can search for now 99,999 life on hit, which is good because 999 is just not enough.
How much can you get on life on hit? I didn't think you could get over 9.
I think it only affects a few very few stats. Like
it's
DB or
like I think for getting to 5 is not necessarily such a big deal, but I'm happy with anything. Just like even for some things like on life globes and stuff. I mean that wasn't even close. I mean I don't think anyone's actually searching for life globes, but. You know what I mean?
Some niche, probably some niche witch doctor builds using life globes, maybe even.
Yeah, some niche witch doctor builds that suck, unfortunately.
Yep. Oh. It's all about having fun. Maybe this will enhance some people's fun. But it's just another refinement tool that it's whatever. It's a good change.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing too special, really. Nothing too exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing to draw tons of people back to the game that have left.
Yep. Cool. So also there's been talk of adding some more info to the completed auctions tab. Apparently you'll be able to see the listing price and the stats of all your unsold items, which is good because it's really annoying that you can't see those things.
Yeah, it'll be good to be able to see them from the log. Like, in a way you can do it currently is with the shift into chat trick before you actually send them to the log, before you send them to your stash.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty good to be able to like the hardcore analytics on stuff without having to record it as they go.
Yep.
It's just good feature. I've been asking for it for long enough.
Yes. Cool. Well, that's pretty much all of the things that have really happened. There's not that much else.
Those other ones. I got some here. I've been keeping track. Want me to continue on?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So another one that Lyria mentioned would probably be happening in 1.0.4 is that the color for the names of gems, potions, pages, and tomes would be changed, possibly to light blue. So that's it. that's like a good. It's a good change. Oh, they also said that they might be making the gems drop sound more distinctive. A few people complained about that, and it sounds like a pretty good change. But yeah, I don't know whether light blue will look different enough from the normal blue of Magic's, but I'd have to see it to know for sure. But I don't know what you guys think.
I guess you just have to, yeah, have to see the actual color. I remember in Diablo 2 the grey of the socketed items was sometimes hard to differentiate, but once you got used to it, you could always tell. So I wonder if it's going to be a case like that, or if it's going to be clearly recognizable. But we won't know until we actually see what kind of light blue it is, I guess.
Not white is a win.
Yeah,
Not
not
white
white.
as well.
Not white.
Yeah.
Anything that's not white, and don't make it like that urine brownie color, because that's bad too.
Well, that's already used for legendaries.
Yeah, well, that's right. You're going to give me a freaking heart attack if you change it to that color.
Oh yeah, like aren't the tomes pretty much the same color as legend? Oh no, they're green, aren't they? Same as that. Yeah, the lore pieces. Sorry, not the tomes. Oh well. Next on the list is the possibility of being able to cancel auctions that don't have bids on them. So that's a pretty big one in my opinion. What do you guys think about that?
Sorry, I didn't catch that. I dropped out a bit there.
You're right. The ability to cancel auctions that don't have yet.
Far out, man. That's so annoying. And I think the impact on that is actually really huge. Like, it's not just going to save an annoyance factor, but things tend to sell. At least right now, I mean, things tend to sell early, or they don't sell at all. Especially if you're trading in like more peak times. So, once something's gone for 3 hours, it's not going to sell almost, unless you've really done something stupid and it's gone to the end. So it's going to make the auction house trade much closer to fair value for stuff, because people can just quickly or relatively quickly reprice their stuff. But on the downside, it's going to be a real bitch for bargain hunters. Because you're not going to be able to hunt for bargains in the same way, because people aren't going to be letting their auctions run into expiry anymore. So I mean, the number of times I've picked up a bargain for like, $8 as a minimum bid price when their buyout price is $50, and they've screwed up. I've picked it up for $8 and then I've relisted it for 15 or something like that, just because their buyout price management was poor. And there was nothing they could do about it. I had 36 whole hours to pick up on that. I'm theoretically not going to get that opportunity as often as I used to. So yeah, sucks for bargain hunters. But again, it's a win for people that like an interface that makes sense.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. Like you said, I think it has. I don't know. I think it's probably good overall, and will make the prices more fair, like you said. But yeah, it sucks not being able to see those bids, and unless the person's just like listed something and forgotten about it. But it sucks not being able to see those bids that have just been listed wrong and pick up a few ending bid bargains. But you'll still be able to bargain hunt by going for items that have only just been listed for too low and that no one else has snapped up yet.
Yeah, of course.
You can still do that sort of thing. But yeah. It's a pretty. They're two pretty. That with the prop search and everything is two pretty big changes to the auction house. But this is all. Like, let's talk about 1.0.4 in general. This is all we've heard so far. So I don't know. What do you think that means, guys? What does it mean for you?
I hope it means that it's not like super far away, because I'm kind of getting sick of waiting. But that's sort of how it is with Blizzard games, I guess. Yeah,
that's tragic but true. I know that they did say, I think it was Lorilla again, said that for the the highly anticipated change of color to blue to light blue for gem drops, that might not make 1.04.
Oh man, you just can't squeeze it in there. Too much work.
So it sounds like they're actually
change
got
your hex code on the writing.
Yeah,
just taking away from that 0.4 of a design team working on patch or something.
Yeah, I Anyway, but it does mean that they've got a deadline and that they're going to try and stick to it. And if something doesn't make said deadline, then they will just bring the patch out anyway. So that's good news, I guess.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, I say it as just a general sign that, you know, they've started talking again. We're starting to hear from them again. It's good. You know, I think they probably just like cut their losses for a while and decided just to not say anything for a while, let people stew for a while, and then you know, start to pick up the information again a bit closer to the patch.
Yep.
Just to confirm for Pink Chains in chat, they've expressed that a deadline exists. They haven't expressed what said deadline is. They're not that silly.
The deadline is soon, man. It's soon. That's the deadline.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, we've seen the changes in the StarCraft 2 UI, which I don't know what you guys thought of them, but they're pretty big changes, and it shows that their commitment to a game that's even not really, you know, doesn't have an auction house in it is still getting updated. So I'm pretty sure we're going to still be seeing some pretty impressive patches to D3, and I'm pretty excited.
Well,
Despite as the guys in the chat like to keep pointing out that I haven't played it very much lately, despite that, I'm still pretty keen for the game. I still like it. I still think it's a great game and it has a lot of potential.
And that's why we continue to do the podcast, because eventually I know there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about, and that's why I want to keep doing it, regardless of how much I actually play the game.
There's been podcasts that have just stopped, man. There's been a heap of podcasts that have just stopped, and even last week when there was zero news, we managed to pull a pretty interesting show out. So we'll keep things rolling.
That wasn't a Diablo podcast though. That was a Path of Exile podcast.
No, it was a Diablo podcast. It was what Blizzard could learn from Path of Exile. You know, sharing some insight.
Sorry, I shouldn't have doubted your master of segueness.
Exactly.
But you know, actually, I thought those StarCraft 2, just to go off on a bit of a tangent,
about another game.
And talk about a different game. You know, it's I mean, they released a massive patch. It's like 1.5 gig patch for that game, and it's a lot of UI changes and a lot of upgrades to a lot of different things. Upgrades just in terms of how the software works as well now relies on a lot less memory, and it's a lot smoother to run on your older computers and stuff like that. So, considering that game's been out 2 years now, it just passed 2 years anniversary in July. You know, that's a pretty big level of commitment to a game that's, you know, been out for a while. Now, the counter argument to all of that is they needed to do this to support Blizzard Dota, which is, you know, supposed to help them with sales down the track, and that could be potentially like a massive moneymaker. And then, even though part of what they've released is their in-game arcade, and you know, that's the closest thing StarCraft's ever going to have to an auction house as well, because Blizzard's expressed in interviews ages ago. You had I think it was Mike Walheim in an interview was talking about his ideas for the StarCraft marketplace, where you would actually have map makers who are able to make custom maps and then sell them, and that would be, you know, Blizzard would take a clip of that. So again, it's a similar model to D3 in terms of people selling virtual goods to other people for money, and Blizzard just taking a clip rather than producing their own new content, which is not just a different way to bash on them.
I think it's awesome. I
think it's great.
They initially announced it like before the game's released, and I was like super excited. I thought that was an awesome idea.
Yeah, they announced it in. It was a while ago now. It was like 2009 or something. I think
it was supposed to be in Wings of Liberty. But,
yeah. I mean, it was kind of like commercial theory crafting at that stage. But you know, the good takeaway out of it is the amount of support that they're putting into a game that is well and truly out, and you know, they're committed to making money on a long-term basis out of their games as well. So. And you know, you can even if you don't like it, or even if you can argue all those marketplace type points, you know, if you look at patch 1.1.0 for Diablo 2, which came out 7 years after release or something, which was a huge patch. You know, they and that was current generation Blizzard. they do a lot of work post-release, and it does take them time, but they get there eventually.
Yep.
That's it. You definitely can't doubt their commitment to their games long term.
Yep.
Despite all the cries that this game is dead and we'll never see the light of day again.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a bit depressing just hearing so much of this is dead.
Yeah, I had a look on the general forums today, and it was pretty much just all those types of threads. People complaining about the game, and in the Australian servers, in the Australian forums, it's the same, just complaining about not having a server. So
there's actually Australian D3 forums. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It always seems to redirect me to US. I've never been on them.
It's not.
I'm not missing much, I'm sure.
It's not like the StarCraft ones where it actually goes to a different server. You go there, but there's the sub forum.
Oh, right.
So
yeah,
it's like
I have seen those actually. You're right. Yeah.
Cool. All right then. Well, I guess we can go on to. Do you want to do a market watch, Highlander?
Jesus Christ! It's so early.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's go for it. Rock and roll.
Dun, 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 dun. It's Highlander's Market Watch.
Awesome. Okay, guys. I should really be a little bit more organised. But there's a site that some dude in one of my videos directed me to this week. And I didn't know about it before now, despite searching this stuff on Google for a while. But it's www.d3rmt.com. And it's a pretty cool site. It's got a lot of places. They track a whole bunch of different things in their little auction house price tracker. And pretty much they're just tracking every commodity just about worth tracking. They also
So they run you out of business, man?
No, because they're not good at talking about it, and I am very eloquent.
There you go.
But they're also actually the place is kind of dead, unfortunately, which is a real bummer because the software that they've got behind the scenes is like working better than anyone else. It's more comprehensive. It's got the better graphs and all that stuff, but yeah, for some reason there's no one actually seems to be actively using the thing, which is kind of tragic. Like they've got a forum in there that's just totally dead. The guy doesn't tweet. The guy's got support in there for videos. There's no videos. But all that aside, d3rmt.com/auction-house has some really cool info if you're interested in what the price of something is or what it's been doing lately. So and it's been tracking it for ages, so you can see Fiery Brimstone go through its great rise and fall. And you can also see all the different plans are on there as well, because they're actually commodities. So that's something that's really cool as well, because that's I'm actually looking. I'm meaning to get in touch with the guy that runs it because I want to get access to the data as a CSV, because you could pretty much turn those plans into an index of what items are doing generally.
Yep.
The plan should be indicative of the item values, or item values more broadly. So yeah, anyway, it's an interesting place if you're just curious about what something's been doing lately, and you can even see spikes going through the course of the week, and going through ups and lows on the weekend and stuff like that, for the more heavy traded stuff. So yeah, go check it out. It's an interesting place, and I'm going to be trying to do some more work with them down the track if they're lively enough to respond to emails.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Cool.
And I've got to go give credit to Mark with 2 C's. Go figure. 16 on YouTube, who gave me that heads up.
What a boss. Props.
Thank you, Mark. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aye.
Cheers.
Cool. Was that your segment? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. We're done.
Okay. So how did your Sydney Morning Herald thing go?
Well, I got interviewed, and that took a while, and then but the guy was really interested, and the guy seemed to be quite switched on. Didn't have any Diablo specific experience, but that was because I opened World of Diablo up to him, and but yeah, he's just been really busy. He was supposed to get back to me today, and he hasn't. So I've been a little bit.
Aww.
What sort of questions did he ask? Out of interest?
He asked. He was trying to keep a bit of an Australian nexus to it, so he was saying, like, are there any prominent Australians doing this sort of stuff? Australians making money out of this full time, stuff like that. He was talking about. I was just very interested in like extreme cases, so he was asking, what's the highest something sold for, or what's the craziest thing something sold for? So
$250 hamburgers.
so the classic $250 hereditary burger.
Yeah, they'd lap that up. The readers of the Sydney Morning Herald love it.
And what else was there? How many people, or if we had any stats on how many people were playing it in Australia, and how big it is, and
did you have any stats on that sort of stuff? Do you know any of that sort of thing?
But I did make some comparisons just because the day job's in finance as well, so it was interesting to make some comparisons when I was trying to look how that auction house worked, just seeing how it works fundamentally differently to something like the more commonly understood share market. It was just a bit interesting in that respect, so I was able to make some correlations there, which he seemed to enjoy. And the way things seem to go up and down seemed a bit interesting to him. But yeah, that was about it. Nothing. Well, hopefully it actually works out. He's assured me that things are going to get to like a publication stage, and I'll share it with you guys as soon as it happens.
It's going to be online, isn't it? So
it's going to have an online component. I don't know if it's going to be in print as well.
Oh, okay. That'd be interesting.
Okay.
You'll have to take a picture, an old-fashioned picture of the newspaper. If it's in the newspaper.
Cool. So at this stage, you don't have any idea of when that might be.
No, not at this stage. But I'm not holding my breath. I got other stuff to keep.
What was that? I missed that.
Oh, I got other stuff to keep me busy. I'm not holding my breath.
Right.
I'm not.
Cool. Not your sole purpose for existence. I did see you mentioned extreme examples. There was a guy today talking about that he had made $10,000 legitimately, and he's got his PayPal screens here. I'll link it in the chat for the guys in chat.
That there'd been a few people that had, suggested that stuff, but it's just their PayPal screenies, so
I should be able to bring it up here.
People don't just come on the internet and lie, Patrick. People tell the truth on the internet.
If it's verifiable, then that's a bit, But it sucks because I don't know how the hell you would verify it.
No,
but
really. You just have to assume people tell the truth on the internet. That's the only way you can live.
Well, the one thing that I do, know is that I, just based off the piddly sum of time that I've been able to spend on it, it's definitely doable. You definitely can make a lot of money out of it. It just takes work, like anything.
Yeah, that's it. When you say that yourself, what you've been able to sell on that, just with your amount of work, you can sort of see how it can scale. And people with a bit more insight into certain niches and things can easily scale them up even further.
Ooh. Right.
Oh, PayPal.
Sorry, I was just mucking around with the screen just so people could see.
What's going on?
And then I could see into infinity. Good stuff.
So, I guess that's about it, really.
What do you guys hope to see for the next week? How about that, in terms of news?
Patch 1.1 released with PvP and
1.1
legendaries.
Just skip all the rest of them.
You say all the rest of them like you really expect that there's going to be 1.0, 0.5, and 0.6 and 0.7.
They have to go in order, man. They have to.
Count up every step, they're still in order if they go to 1.1 right now.
I fully expect that an announcement or a release of 1.0.4 next week. I feel like that's the amount of time after they would have started talking again. About a week, about 2 weeks max. So, but I think by the next episode we could have some news on that front. Hopefully, at least more. Yep. I don't think they can just keep teasing at what might be in it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's my theory.
Right.
Yeah, we're not gonna. I think we're gonna see new legendaries in 1.0.4, maybe. Were they planning on doing that?
Yeah, pretty sure they said that they were.
Yeah.
Was that a forward? Because they did say they were going to bring it out in 1.1 at the same time as PvP.
They said that a while back, but around the sort of Mike Morhaime letter stage, they were saying that they're bringing some new legendary stuff into 1.0.4. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, that's then exciting.
Oh, well.
I got a bit of legendary hunt when that happens.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yes, so hopefully we'll get some more information for the next week's podcast. Would be nice. I guess that's about it, really. Nothing else worth mentioning.
I do want to just mention that one correlation I saw with between announcing the six property search function in the auction house.
Mm-hmm.
It was within somewhere between 1 and 2 days of Kriparian doing a video with his top 5 bitches about Diablo 3. It wasn't titled that; it was titled slightly differently, but essentially, it was one of his top 5 complaints, and that got a. It's hard for me to imagine that it wasn't something of a response to that they at least announced it when they did.
Yeah, that was a good video actually. It was quite. I found it very satisfying to hear all of those things.
He said things that I wasn't expecting. Like he didn't say lack of endgame content and stuff like that. Which I thought would have been his bigger complaints. They were just like little things, but things that mattered.
Yeah, I think it was kind of things that he was saying was really easy, really to fix, and things that he thinks should be already fixed, basically.
Do you know what I actually see the correlation to be, Pat, is that ever since the open beta weekend on Path of Exile, Grip's been playing Path of Exile, and he's released a video on Path of Exile every day since then. Blizzard are feeling the heat. They're trying to get him back. They're trying to win him back. That's what's going on. Blizzard love Grip. The guys in the chat are saying that's exactly right. They want him back, man. The ex-girlfriend, she's come knocking.
Cool. Well, we'll call it a day there.
No worries.
This has been the Diablo Herald. We record the show live on Twitch TV at twitch.tv/Diabloherald. We also upload them to YouTube at youtube.com/Diabloherald, so you can watch all the previous shows there if you want to. I don't. You probably.
You make it sound so uninteresting.
Well, it's topical. It's it's news.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's cool.
You can also tweet at Diablo Herald if you have any questions or suggested topics. Please do, because it's always good to get some interaction going and talk about things we can talk about or things we have talked about. You can email me at diabloherald@gmail.com, and Patrick does some stuff on YouTube as well, don't you, Patrick?
Yes, I do. I upload videos on occasion, and that involves a Market Watch series, which I'm still doing. I'm now at 2 weeks running of successfully uploading stuff. So you can catch me there at youtube.com/ScottishMoo, and you can also find me on Twitter at HighlanderSC. Unlike what I said in previous podcasts, I won't be changing my name from Scottish Moo because I frickin' can't. and I thought I might be able to. But
Oh,
apparently I had to do something special when I set up my Google Plus account. I didn't do that. And that was like my once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that didn't tell me it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I blew it. So I'm Scottish and move forever, which is poor branding, but it's a cool name in every other regard.
Cool. And ZiggyD, you do stuff?
I do also do stuff. I'm ZiggyD Starcraft on YouTube and Twitter, and I tweet about Diablo 3, and I make Diablo 3 videos, despite the guys in the chat claiming I don't know anything about Diablo 3. I have been making Diablo 3 videos. There is Diablo 3 video up on my channel right now. The newest one on there. Go check it out.
Play the game to do that video.
I had some background footage of me playing the game, but I won't say when I recorded that.
Yeah, unfortunately, the game's been a little bit of an auction house simulator for me lately as well. Not getting stuck into the cool thing.
I'm just happy to sort of just chill for a while. Just wait, just watch the game, and it's not like I'm not gonna delete it from my computer and burn the disc and anything like that.
So you're not going to be like the majority of Reddit?
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not freaking out or anything. I'm just gonna play the game when I feel like playing it. But I'm still incredibly interested in it and its development because I want it to be a game that I play for the next 10 years or so. So
you're not going to feel compelled to make a post of why you're quitting Diablo 3?
Nope. Not going to quit Diablo 3.
I don't need any more of those announcements. I get it.
Yeah. Shock. Horror.
Cool.
Yep, that's me.
Well, it's been... Is it 15? Episode 15? Yes, episode 15.
You totally skipped one, surely.
No, this is 15.
Jeez.
I hope it is, otherwise I am just going to look like a dick. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
See yous. I'm not waving tonight.
You're too cool for
I
that.
know,
huh?
that's what all the cool people